lesson 4.1. We're going to be talking about powers and exponents today. So we're getting into a new chapter and we're starting some new things. So we need to go ahead and understand the basics of powers and exponents. It's something you probably have heard before, but we're going to go in a little bit more detail using variables and things like that. So let's go ahead and review the different parts of an exponent. So the base is the number that is being multiplied. So it's the big number when you have a number raised to a power. It's the big numbers. This is the number that's being multiplied several times. A power is a number that can be expressed using an exponent. So this is all called a power. The exponent is the small number. So it's the number that the base is raised to. This number tells you how many times to multiply the base. Now I can't say this enough, that this is not 2 times 4. If it was 2 times 4, it would be written like this. But this is 2 to the 4th power, which means that we're doing 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So we're multiplying 2 4 times. The last word that we really need to focus on is the word factor. Now it's very important to keep this term to memory because it reoccurs like over and over again throughout all of the lessons and throughout really all your math career. So you really want to know what the word factor means. A factor is 2 or more numbers that are multiplied together to form a product. So it's like 3 times 4 equals 12. So 3 and 4 are factors of 12 because they both multiply together and the product is 12. So factors are numbers that are being multiplied together. All right, let's go ahead and use this information in some examples. All right, let's go ahead and look at example number 1. Number 1 says 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. Now, the directions say to write this as an exponent. So this is an expanded form, it's all multiplied out, but now we're going to write as an exponent. This kind of shows us that by doing this that you understand, okay, which number's the base and which number's the exponent. So it shows us that you're understanding the basics of this. So this is 6. We know that 6 is our base because it's the number that is being multiplied. Now our exponent is however many times this is being multiplied. So our exponent's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 6 raised to the 4th power. Okay, number 2, we have some variables now. So this is kind of when some of the stuff gets a little more new for you. We have 9 times f times f. So basically we're going to go ahead and write this as an exponent. So first of all we have 9. Because 9 isn't raised to any power because you don't see 9 multiplied out more than once. So it's just 9. So now we have 9 multiplied by f times f. So that means f is the base because it's being multiplied more than one time. And then 2 is going to be our exponent because f is being multiplied 2 times. So it's 9 times f to the 2nd power. Okay, number 3. This time this is a little bit different. We have c minus d times c minus d times c minus d. So this time our base is going to look a little bit different than usual because it's not just one number. Because we have 2 variables, so we can't do anything with this yet. So it's going to end up being c minus d raised to the 1, 2, 3, to the 3rd power. Because we're multiplying this whole thing inside of the parentheses 3 times. So c minus d raised to the 3rd power. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and evaluate. So we know how to write it now, and now we're going to go ahead and just multiply it out. So it says our base is 5, so we're going to be multiplying 5. How many times are we multiplying 5? We're multiplying it 4 times. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. So now you can start using some of your multiplication rules. So 5 times 5 gives you 25, so that uses up both of those. And then 5 times 5 gives you 25. So I'm going to multiply 25 by 25. You're going to get 25. 5 times 2 gives you 10, plus 2 gives you 12. And then you're going to get 10, and then you're going to get 4, 5. Okay? Okay, so our whole answer, once we multiply it out, is going to be 625. So that's 5 multiplied 4 times. It's going to give you 625. All right, let's go ahead and evaluate this one. Now, this is interesting because it has a number multiplied by a power. So this number, we're going to have to go ahead and figure out what 2 raised to the 4th power is, and then we can multiply that by 5 and we'll find our answer. So we're just multiplying straight across. So it's going to end up looking like 5 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So, because that's 2 multiplied 4 times and then times 5. So 2 times 2 gives you 4, and then 2 times 2 gives you 4. And then so 4 times 4 gives you 16, times 5 is going to give you 16 times 5, is going to give you 35, 8. So you're going to go ahead and get 80 after you multiply everything out. Alright, let's go ahead and look at example number 6. Now this time we have variables, but we are given what the variables are equal to, so we'll have to plug those in and solve. So we have 10 plus b squared. So b is negative 2, so that means we're going to multiply negative 2 times negative 2. So now we can go ahead and solve. Negative 2 times negative 2 is going to give you a positive 4, because a negative times a negative gives you positive. And then we're going to add 10 to that, and we're going to go ahead and get 14. So that's going to be our final answer. Alright, number 7, this one's a little bit different. So we're going to have to plug in a number for A, a number for B, add, and multiply. So we're going to have A plus B, A plus B, A plus B. So we're going to go ahead and write it out just so we know how many times we're multiplying it out. 5 is A. So 5 plus, and then b is negative 2. So it's going to end up being 5 minus 2 times 5 minus 2 times 5 minus 2. Alright, I changed this to a subtraction because it's adding a negative is the same as subtracting. And since this number is smaller, it's just easier to think of subtracting it off instead of adding a negative. So 5 minus 2 gives you 3. 5 minus 2 gives you 3, and 5 minus 2 gives you 3. So we're doing 3 times 3 times 3. So let's go ahead and multiply that out. 3 times 3 gives you 9, and then 9 times 3 gives you 27. So that should be your whole answer. Alright, make sure you've watched through the whole video. If something's confusing you, rewind it, rewatch it again, make note of your questions if you still have them at the end. You can also look inside your textbook because there are several examples that are done out for you that might be able to help you a little bit. Now let's go ahead and work on your own questions.
Alright, you have a few problems to do for me. The first section you need to go ahead and write using exponents. So write A, B, and C, all of those using exponents. Number 2, you're going to evaluate. Number 3, you're going to evaluate as well if y is equal to 4. Good luck. We'll see what you get tomorrow.